So the UFC's back. We had a week break. Now the UFC's back. So UFC Fight Night Dariush vs Tsarukyan takes place this weekend. Obviously, main event Beneil Dariush versus Arman Tsarukyan. Hooker versus Bobby Green. Off the card now. It's now Bobby Green versus Yarlin Turner. And it's not 5 rounds, it's 3 rounds. But anyway, let's get into the fights. So the first fight of the night, we have Jamie Lynn Horf versus Veronica Hardy. I'm not going to really give too much of a detailed breakdown, as people know I'm horrible with women's mixed martial arts. So I'm just going to give a brief breakdown for this one. So I'm going to take Jamie Lynn Horf here. I know Veronica Hardy looked really good in her last fight, but Juliana Miller might just be the worst fighter in the UFC. She's pretty fucking bad, if we're being honest. And she did... I didn't even remember that she went and got smoked in her next fight. Jesus Christ. But yeah, Miller then got smoked by Luana Santos very badly in her next fight. And yeah, Jamie Lynn Horf, I think she's just a lot stronger. I just think she's stronger physically, and that will take you a long way in these women's divisions. Just being fucking freakishly strong is a good advantage. Plus, she has 2 wins on the amateurs over Lupita Godinez, which are really good wins. So yeah, I'm going to take Jamie Lynn Horf here. I think she will get this one done, but it's women's MMA. What the fuck do I know? Next up, we got Wellington Turman versus Jared Gooden. My prediction for this fight is Jared Gooden misses weight, and Wellington Turman gets 30% of his purse and then goes on to win a pretty dominant decision over Jared Gooden. So look, I'm giving a full detailed prediction here. I'm even predicting that he's going to miss weight. I thought Wellington Turman looked really good against Randy Brown. I thought his striking looked really improved. You know, he really took some Alex Pereira type inspiration, had the shaved head, was literally looking like a welterweight Alex Pereira, and he was fighting like him. He was literally using his striking style. Obviously, he doesn't have the hands of stone, the Politan, like Alex Pereira does, but you know, he looked good. He arguably could have beat Randy Brown, and I think Randy Brown's a really good fighter, so I thought that was a really good showing, especially that was his first fight at welterweight for years. You know, imagine how much better he's going to look. He's now mastered the weight cut. You know, he's going to be used to cutting that weight. He's not going to be as worried about the weight cut. He knows he can make the weight perfectly fine and everything. So I think he's going to look better in this fight. I think physically he'll look better. He'll be more accustomed to that welterweight weight cut. And Jared Gooden, you know, he's a powerful guy. Wellington Turman has been chinned a few times, so Jared Gooden definitely has a real good shot in this fight just to KO him. But look at the guys that Jared Gooden has lost to. He lost to Ubakar Nurmagomedov, who, you know, he's alright, but he's not the greatest fighter. He lost to Alan Joban, past his prime. Alan Joban, who is still obviously a good fighter, absolutely destroyed some guy's name. Some guy, I can't really remember his name, but he did really like put on a beating on this guy. He's now ranked welterweight. I can't remember his name though. I'm talking about Bilal Muhammad, of course. He just destroyed Bilal Muhammad. But you know, the only win that Jared Gooden had in the UFC was over Nicholas Stolze, who, let's just say, doesn't have a great chin by any means. Like, he really doesn't. His chin just isn't that good. And he was also very undersized. Like, he's a small guy. He's really a lightweight. And yeah, I mean, he just KO'd him, and then they both these guys have lost to Randy Brown, but I would say Wellington Turman's performance much more impressive. Obviously, MMA math doesn't work that way, but yeah, I just see Wellington Turman. I think he can grapple to a victory here. I think he could sub Jared Gooden. Like, I think he's really good, and I think he can win with the striking as well, and then mix up, you know, arm bars or some sort of submission. So I'm going to go Wellington Turman here, and I'm going to go by decision, though. I think he's going to get a decision here. I think he's just sort of going to masterclass Jared Gooden a bit here. Like, that's how I got this one going. I think he's just going to sort of beat on him, maybe mix in some takedowns, probably not get any submissions. Jared Gooden's submission defense is pretty decent. So yeah, I'm going to go Wellington Turman here over Jared Gooden. And then we got Ihor Potieria versus Rodolfo Bellato. Yeah, I can't in good good conscience pick Ihor Pretoria here. I don't think Rodolfo Bellato was like that amazing. I know he looked really good against Mortalza Talha, but Talha isn't a light heavyweight by any means. He is very, very undersized for that weight class. I don't know what the fuck he was doing at light heavyweight. Literally weighed in at 203 pounds, while Rodolfo Bellato is a heavyweight size light heavyweight. This guy's massive, 6'3". Like this guy he could definitely be a heavyweight. Like he could fight at heavyweight, and there would be no problem with it. Like this guy's fucking massive, 6'3", muscly as fuck, 77-inch reach. Like this guy's massive. Like he was so much bigger than Talha. Like it was actually comical. And Talha was coming off a injury, but still, I'm not going to cope about that too much. Bellato did look really good in that fight, though. Regardless of that, I just think Pretoria's striking defense is so bad. Like he has such horrible striking defense. I actually see this fight going very, very similar to the Nikolai Neguramurun. Oh fucking hell! I don't like saying his last name. I'm just gonna say Nikolai. He looked very similar. I mean, I see this going very similar to the Nikolai fight. What do I mean by that? Bellato very tough, only lost to one man his whole career, and that is Vitor Petrino, which nobody's gonna fault him for that. And Nikolai pretty much just chatted his way to victory against Bateria, just took all the shots, and then just came in and just teed off on Bateria, making use of his horrible striking defense. And I see this going very, very similar to that, because Bellato, the way he was teeing off on Talha was pretty much the exact same way Nikolai beat Ihor Pretoria. So that's sort of how I see it going. Maybe Bellato's landing big knees, landing uppercuts, teeing off on him against the fence, and then maybe it's a standing TKO or something like that. I think he is going to make use of Ihor Pretoria's non-existent striking defense, though. So yeah, I got Rodolfo Bellato here by TKO/KO over Ihor Pretoria, and who knows, maybe Bellato's going to do the whole duelist thing and fucking pretend to shoot Ihor Pretoria or actually do a dance and then shake his finger, shoot up in the air and say, I respected him too much, so I didn't shoot him like Ihor Pretoria did to Shogun Uhura. But anyway, moving on, we got Steve Garcia versus Malquezino Costa. I'm going to be taking Costa here. He looked really, really good his last fight. I know it was Austin Lingo, but he generally looked really good. And another thing I got to factor into this fight is, he's a really good striker. His striking is really decent. And if you know anything about Steve Garcia, there is one big problem in his game, and that is his chin. He gets hurt quite a lot. He gets rocked. He gets dropped almost every fight. His last two, he looked good against Chase Hooper. Like, he looked really good, but that was a featherweight Chase Hooper. He's like a mythical fighter at lightweight. Plus, I don't know what Chase Hooper's game plan for that fight was. He was trying to fucking slug it out with Steve Garcia. It was really weird. He got dropped like 3 times. And then Steve Garcia, if I'm remembering correctly, was getting dropped by Shalian Danbike. He was getting beat up, and then he just sort of caught him with a body shot and then just hurt him and got the victory there. But he wasn't looking too great before that finish, if I'm remembering correctly. And I sort of just see Steve Garcia getting KO'd here. He gets dropped almost every fight, besides the Chase Hooper fight. But Ontiveros was dropping him all over the place. Like his chin is so bad, and he's taken so much damage. He's been KO'd out cold as well by Mahashate. And I think Costa can actually just KO him here, probably with a head kick or something like that. Because, Steve Garcia takes so much damage, but he has looked good of late, but I'm going to take Costa. He looked really good. I know it's Austin Lingo, but that was a really good performance. And Austin Lingo is a pretty good striker. He's got good boxing. So, yeah, I'm going to take Malok Corfi. That's apparently his nickname. So yeah, I'm gonna take Costa here over Steve Garcia, and then we have Joe Solecki versus Drakkar Klose. I'm gonna take. This is actually a tough matchup to pick, but I'm gonna take Drakkar Klose. I think he is really solid, and also I really rate that win over Rafa Garcia. I really do rate that. I think that's a great win to have. And yeah, he looked really solid against Rafa Garcia. I know he's been out for over a year, and yeah, shit, he didn't have a fight booked for ages. He got booked against Mark Madsen and then dipped. But Joe Solecki just, I don't know, Joe Solecki's striking is so fucking awful. Like, his striking is non-existent. It's really worrying. And Drakkar Klose has really good anti-grappling, really good takedown defense. And if this is just a fight on the feet, I think Drakkar Klose is just going to absolutely smoke Joe Solecki. Like, I generally don't. This is like a mismatch on the feet. Not the overall fight, because if Solecki can get his grappling going, he's got a real good shot. But his striking is so god awful. It is so fucking bad. Like, he has no power. He has no proper technical striking fundamentals. And his chin's not the greatest either. He's been KO'd before. He got KO'd by Nicholas Motta. I'm pretty sure when he fought the Brazilian guy, fuck's sake, Tapology. What was his name? Alex da Silva. That fight should have been a draw. That fight shouldn't have been a decision win for Solecki. And I will die on this hill that should have been a draw. From what I'm remembering, Da Silva was really hurting him on the feet quite a lot. It was looking really solid, but for some reason they just straight gave it to Solecki. But I remember that being a sort of bad decision. And then I don't really rate a win over Carl Deaton the third, if I'm being honest. Respect to the guy, but like he is just a can crusher at the end of the day, and yeah, he's not that great. And it was short notice too. Like to go a bit further into it, it was fucking short notice as well for Carl Deaton. And wow, Benoit Saint Denis would have absolutely smoked Joe Solecki. By the way, that would have been not even close. But yeah, I'm gonna take Drakkar Klose here. I think he's gonna KO Joe Solecki. I don't like this on the feet for Joe Solecki at all. And I think Drakkar Klose is good enough to stuff the takedowns and keep it standing. So I'm going to go with Drakkar Klose here. Then moving on, we have Cody Brundage versus Zachary Reese. Now, Zachary Reese, I didn't pick him on his Dana White Contender Series fight. The one thing that worried me was the level of competition. 1-0 for his debuts, all right, but then 0-1, 0-0, 6-3. But Aaron Phillips literally trains himself in a fucking shed in Alaska, and then he beat a 5-10 guy to get on Dana White Contender Series. But he looked really good against Eli Aronov, the Israeli dude. He subbed him. He's really fucking he's a really good finisher. Obviously, I don't know what his cardio is like because he's only left the first round once, and that was at the amateurs, so 3-minute rounds. So there's not really much to go off on this guy. Round 1 KO, round 1 KO, 50-second KO, 33-second sub, 52-second KO, 1 minute 14 armbar. And I don't think we're going to learn anything in this fight either about Zachary Reese or how good he is. Because I think he's just going to smoke Cody Brundage. Cody Brundage is going to come out. He's going to come out aggressive. He's going to maybe swing some big shots, shoot in some takedowns. And then I think he's going to gas out and then just get fucking smoked. Because Cody Brundage has the worst cardio in the UFC. He's up there. The way he gasses so quickly and then he just has some fucking horrendous fight IQ. Keeps going for guillotine after guillotine. He makes Jack Della Maddalena's guillotines on Basil Hafez look like a tactical smart move to make, because the way he kept throwing himself on bottom against Cedric Dumas was the worst thing I've ever seen. That was so fucking stupid for him. That was such a winnable fight for Cody Brundage, and he just completely fucking shot himself in the foot there. Cody Brundage, not very smart fight IQ wise, and he's been KO'd a few times. He's taken some damage. He's been subbed. He was getting beat up by Jacob Malkoon, but then he got the DQ Hail Mary win, and he gets another fight in the UFC. But I think Zachary Reese is going to KO him. I see Zachary Reese getting him out of there pretty early, especially with his fight style. I can see him just sort of breaking Cody Brundage. Like Brundage mentally isn't the toughest fighter. Like I don't know, something about Cody Brundage. He's got the lowest fight IQ, and I don't rate his mental toughness. I know it's all well and good me saying that I'm a fucking guy in my room making a video predicting a fight. And obviously I know he's tough because he gets out there, but like mentally he quits quite a lot. I feel like. And he just makes a lot of dumb decisions. I just see Zachary Reese getting him out of there pretty early. I'll go with KO. I just see him sort of just catching him really early, especially because Cody Brundage has taken a lot of damage. And also, Cody Brundage got KO'd by William Knight. I know William Knight, big guy with biceps, big scary looking guy, but he is horrible. And he got fucking destroyed by William Knight, which is a bad look. So yeah, I'm going to take Zachary Reese here. And yeah, I don't think we're going to learn anything about Reese here. We're not going to learn about his cardio or anything. And also, an interesting note, his only loss in MMA was in 2012 against Kevin Holland. So that's really interesting. The guy yeah, nobody wanted to fight this guy for a while. I don't know if he was the reason why all these fights got cancelled, but from 2014 to 2017, how many fights? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fights got cancelled for him on the amateur scene. But, he's 29. He's in the middleweight division. He's 6'4", 77-inch reach, got good size for the division, and he's a good finisher. So it'll be interesting to see how he looks moving forward in the middleweight division, but I do think he could beat Cody Brundage here. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens for him moving forward. Then we have Miesha Tate versus Julia Avila. Miesha Tate made Lauren Murphy look like fucking Max Holloway against Calvin Kattar, which is like a horrible fucking look because Lauren Murphy is awful and she's like 40 years old. She's even older than Miesha Tate. So just based on Miesha Tate looking awful, not physically, I just mean in her fights, I'm going to take Julia Avila here. I just think she'll win. Flip a coin. Oh, heads. Okay, I'm going with Julia Avila here. And that's my breakdown for that fight. Then we have Clay Guida versus Joaquim Silva. This is a really, really interesting fight. I see the majority of people are going with Silva. But outside of him rocking Arman Tsarukyan, he's looked pretty bad in his career, if we're being honest. Like, I don't know. He's not looked horrible, but there is one thing about his game that is always worrying, and that is just his chin. Like, KO'd by Nasrat Haqparast, KO'd by Ricky Glenn. Like, these are sub 1 minute KOs, or I guess the Nasrat fight went into the second round. But this guy's cardio is not very good. He doesn't have great cardio, and his chin is very sus, in my opinion. He's very fun to watch. Physically, a very, built guy and everything. He did sub Neil Magny in a grappling contest as well. But I think this is a good stylistic matchup for Clay Guida, if I'm being honest. I really do think this is good for Clay Guida. Clay Guida, he's very tough. He's got really good cardio, good pace. And like I say, Joaquim Silva does slow down. I think this is a really good fight for Clay Guida. I really do. He might just go in there and get smoked. That is a possibility. But I'm going to go with Clay Guida here. I can sort of see him surviving the storm from Silva. Maybe Silva goes out there throwing some heavy kicks and stuff like that. And then if Clay Guida lands one of them overhands, one of them signature overhands he throws, he could rock Joaquim Silva here. It would be really funny if Clay Guida was to go out there and just beat Silva better than Arman Tsarukyan. That'd be crazy to see. But I'm actually going to take Clay Guida here. I know he got beat up in his last fight, but that's against Rafa Garcia. I rate Rafa Garcia. I actually think Rafa is like a really decent fighter. He's like a really underrated fighter in that division. And, Clay Guida still showed a chin in that fight. He survived the whole fight. I don't think Silva's going to be able to go in there and just KO him. And if that isn't the case, I think his pace and cardio will end up breaking Joaquim Silva. So I'm going to be taking Clay Guida in this fight. I actually think he's going to get this one done. I think a lot of people have recency bias just because he did rock Tsarukyan like at one point in that fight. But besides that, he doesn't look great in all of his fights. I guess he beat Jesse Ronson, but that was Jesse Ronson off the source. Now Jesse Ronson's back on the source. He's looking fucking amazing on the Canadian regional scene. He's like on a 5-fight winning streak, but again, that was him off the source. Then we have Pahali Sariano versus Dustin Stolfus. I actually think there's actually a solid chance Dustin Stolfus gets this one done. Like, I'm not even joking. I know he got KO'd by Abbas Magomedov in like 14 seconds, but outside of that, Dwight Grant is sort of similar to Soriano. Obviously, Dwight Grant at middleweight is a bit different to the welterweight counterpart of himself. But I think Stolfus has a solid chance here because Soriano did get wrestled by Nick Maximov, which is not a great look by any means. But I do still think that Soriano is going to get this one done just because, like I say, Stolfus did get KO'd by Abbas Magomedov in 14 seconds. I can see Soriano should be able to stuff the takedowns from Stolfus. But I don't know, Stolfus is a weird case. Like, he is really a fucking weird fighter. Like, I know you're going to look at his record and say he's god awful, and maybe that's justifiable, but like, he was beating GM3 before he got subbed. Like, he was fucking just wrestling and out grappling Gerald Meerschaert for 2 rounds, and then he got subbed last minute. Like, he was looking really good against GM3. That was a really weird performance. Like, most people, GM3 just randomly starts beating the shit out of him. He was looking good everywhere, and that was like right after GM3 had beat Makhmud Muradov, and Dustin Stolfus was looking solid. But yeah, I still think I'm gonna go with Soriano here, but it would not surprise me at all if Dustin Stolfus was to somehow go out there and like edge a 29-28 decision over Soriano. But I am gonna take Soriano here. I just think he's got the big KO threat here, and I can just see him maybe catching Dustin Stolfus with like an uppercut coming in or something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna take Soriano. And then we have Sean Brady versus Kelvin Gastelum. Interesting fight. Let's all pray that fucking brother Kelvin makes weight here. I am worried that this fight's going to get canned because of Kelvin Gastelum's weight. But if this fight does go ahead, I really like Kelvin Gastelum in this fight. I really do. He has been fighting such bigger guys, and when we seen him against a fighter like a similar height and as him, like a similar size as him, which was Chris Curtis, even though he had a much longer reach, we seen Kelvin Gastelum look fucking great. And obviously, Sean Brady and Chris Curtis are much different stylistic matchups. Sean Brady's a jiu-jitsu guy, and Chris Curtis is primarily a boxer. But I really like this fight. Like, the size is going to really help Kelvin Gastelum here, fighting a guy the same height as him. It's going to be harder for Sean Brady to get takedowns against a guy the same height as him. It's not as easy as when he's fighting these taller guys. He can sort of just like get onto their legs a lot easier on. I think Kelvin Gastelum is really just going to put a beating on Sean Brady and KO him or TKO him, sort of similar to how Bilal Muhammad did. Like, Sean Brady is not very good on the feet. His striking's very worrying. He's got good leg kicks, but that's like it. And even then, they're very telegraphed, very easy to see. I can see him going to throw a leg kick, like telegraphing it crazily, and I can just see Kelvin Gastelum catching him with a 1-2 up the pipe, rocking him, and then just teeing off on him against the fence. Sort of similar to how he was teeing off on Nate Marquardt back in the day. I am worried that if Sean Brady does just get him down, I could sort of see a situation similar to the Jack Hermansson Kelvin Gastelum fight. Obviously, Hermansson got him with a heel hook, but I still think that Kelvin Gastelum's going to win this, and I'm pretty confident here. He's got really good takedown defense. Losing the prime, so maybe not prime, but not completely washed Chris Weidman is not a bad look, and Chris Weidman is fucking massive. Like, he's a big guy. and at that time was more durable than Sean Brady, in my opinion. And Kelvin Gastelum still went out there and dropped him. I feel like if he lands any big shots on Sean Brady's chin, I can just see him breaking him. You know, the way he lost to Bilal Muhammad was such a bad look. Like, just that, I don't know, that does not give me any confidence in Sean Brady at all. I know Bilal Muhammad is really good. Like, the guy is generally good. Say what you want to say about his fights being boring and his weird Dagestani chode guzzling fetish, how he sucks off all of Team Khabib now because he wants their fan base. But the guy is a solid fighter. Like, Bilal Muhammad is really good. So, you know, it's not like a horrible loss, but the way he did lose is just horrible. Like, losing to Bilal Muhammad's not horrible, but getting fucking, you know, TKO'd on the feet by Bilal Muhammad is just fucking inexcusable look. Just it doesn't look good for you at all. But still, he put on a good performance there. Bilal Muhammad did, but you know, Sean Brady, I just, you know, Kelvin Gastelum is actually powerful. I could see him KOing Sean Brady or just teeing off on him. I feel like if he starts unloading on Sean Brady, he's going to have some fucking PTSD flashbacks of that Bilal Muhammad fight and just get KO'd. So yeah, I hope Kelvin Gastelum wins this, and I think he will, because Kelvin Gastelum at welterweight is so much more interesting than any matchup Sean Brady can give us. Sean Brady is a boring fighter to watch, and it's not because of his grappling. I just don't find the guy very entertaining. I like grappling, but his style of grappling is sort of just laying on top of people and maybe total striking every 1 minute. Yeah, the guy's not very entertaining to watch. And I think Kelvin Gastelum is really going to make his statement here, but we'll see what happens. If he gets taken down, he could be fucked. Sean Brady is very strong. He's a fucking brick shit house, but yeah, we'll see what happens there. Then we have Rob Font versus Davison Figueiredo. This is a really interesting fight. Really interesting. Uh, Not doing Figueiredo any fucking favors at bantamweight. His first bantamweight fight, and you're giving him literally the biggest fucking bantamweight you can give him. Like one of the biggest bantamweights. Like Rob Font fought at lightweight back in the day. This guy's massive. Like he's generally a big dude. Like it's crazy. It's actually crazy how big this guy is. But I'm gonna I'm gonna take Davison Figueiredo here. I know that's not the consensus pick here, but I think Figueiredo is going to look rejuvenated at bantamweight. I think we're going to see shades of the old Figgy in this fight. Uh, Rob Font's really good. Like he's got really good boxing, but I can see Figueiredo hurting him. And I know Corey Sandhagen is a big guy for the bantamweight division, but the way he was wrestling around Rob Font was just not a good look for me. You know, it didn't make his takedown defense look very great when you're getting ragdolled by Corey Sandhagen. And I think Davison Figueiredo is like freakishly strong. I think he's a freakishly strong athlete, very powerful. I can sort of just see him maybe rocking. I can either see him rocking Rob Font, catching a guillotine, maybe Rob Font panic shoots or something, and then I can see him getting knocked down, and then Figueiredo jumps at his neck. But or I can see him maybe offensively wrestling. I know he's going to be much smaller, but I don't know. I really do like this fight for Davison Figueiredo here. I don't know why. Everybody I've seen says that Rob Font's just going to go out there and beat him up. And I know he did get dropped by Moreno in their fights, but you got to factor in, man. You really do have to factor this in. He was killing himself to make flyweight. I remember hearing this guy was as big as like 160 pounds, 165 pounds out of camp. Like something crazy like that. So the weight cuts were obviously fucking killing him. Like, I think he's going to look a lot better at the bantamweight division. His chin's probably going to be rejuvenated. He'll have a lot more cardio. He'll be stronger at this weight class. Obviously, be fighting bigger guys. But I do like this fight for him. I like this fight. And yeah, I'm going to take Davison Figueiredo. I think he's going to get a submission. Either he's going to snatch up a neck rocking Rob Font, or he's just going to wrestle and then get a sub that way. But I do think he's going to get this one done. I think people are underestimating him quite a lot. But, you know, Rob Font's obviously got a good shot here. He's got a good shot here. But I am going to take Davison Figueiredo. Then we got Jarlin Turner versus Bobby Green in the lightweight division. Interesting fight. Short notice nature. Don't like that for Jarlin Turner at all. Like, not this is not a good uh you know this is not good for Jarlin Turner. Like, this isn't a catch weight or anything either. This is literally at lightweight, so that's not this is not ideal circumstances for Jarlin Turner. But I'm gonna take Bobby Green here. I know everybody seems to be picking Jarlin Turner, and I'm not. This is not why I'm basing the fight. I don't base fights on odds or anything like that. I'm just saying I think Bobby Green's gonna get this one done. I know Jarlin Turner very powerful. He could go out there and just KO Bobby Green if we're being honest. But I really like Bobby Green to just sort of like masterclass Jarlin Turner quite a bit here. I don't know what Jarlin Turner's been doing in preparation, if he was preparing for a fight or anything like that, if he's even in fight shape. But his cardio is not the greatest, like in general. So on short notice, who knows how his cardio is going to look? I sort of just see Bobby Green like teeing off on him, doing Bobby Green things. He's gonna get in his face, he's gonna mock him, he's gonna point, he's gonna do all this stuff. He's sort of just gonna tee off on him, and maybe that's gonna be to his demise. Maybe he gets caught mocking Jarlin Turner, which would not fucking surprise me. It would be the most Bobby Green way to lose, But I don't know. I can just see Bobby Green hurting Jarlin Turner, and I could see him getting just a standing TKO on a gassed out Jarlin Turner. I can see him rocking him with a good like counter right shot, and they're just sort of teeing off, going to the body, teeing off, just constantly teeing off. And I can sort of see the pressure getting to Jarlin Turner, especially on short notice. And with Bobby Green mocking him a little bit, maybe that gets to him a little bit more. And then, yeah, I see Bobby Green getting him out of there by standing TKO. Don't worry, I don't think Bobby Green's like some sort of KO artist now that he fucking chinned Grant Dawson. Like, I don't think that. But I do think he is looking really solid now. And I know MMA math doesn't work, and I mean, technically there isn't any MMA math here because these guys haven't fought before. But I feel like if you can give Rafael Fiziev a really tough fight on the feet, then I feel like you can really go in there and give Jarlin Turner a really good fight on the feet, because I think Rafael Fiziev is a much better striker than Jarlin Turner, and I just think Bobby Green can really give it to him on the feet. Like, I really think you can actually give him a solid fight. Like, Jarlin Turner's good, but he's sort of just a power guy. Like, he does have some like striking. He's got a good striking arsenal, but a lot of it's just based on his powerful shots. Like, he can get hit quite a lot. He can get teed off on, and the way he took a lot of damage against Dan Hooker. I know Dan Hooker is probably more powerful than Bobby Green, but yeah, I just think Bobby Green can get this one done. And also, he could mix in some wrestling here. Jarlin Turner has been taken down quite a few times. Got wrestle fucked by Matt Frivola. Got taken down by Jamie Malarkey in their fight. I can sort of just see Bobby Green maybe mixing in some wrestling and just masterclassing him, but maybe to slow him down a little bit, especially early on. Early on, because of the short notice nature, I'm sure Jarlin Turner's going to come out fucking crazy, like a fucking bat out of hell, swinging big shots, going powerful, coming out trying to pressure Bobby Green. And then maybe Bobby Green needs to wrestle to, like, get things going a little bit, to slow down the momentum of Jarlin Turner. But I think eventually Bobby Green will tee off on Jarlin Turner and get him out of there on the feet. So I'm going to be taking Bobby Green here, but TKO, standing TKO. That's my prediction. Only 3 rounds, though. If this was 5 rounds, I reckon this would be just an absolute lock for Bobby Green if he survives the first few rounds. But 3 rounds is dangerous. Jarlin Turner is really good. I'm not just shitting on him because he did lose to Dan Hooker, but like, Jarlin Turner is still a solid fighter. Then moving on, we have Beneil Dariush versus Arman Tsarukyan. Everybody seems to really be going for Arman Tsarukyan here. And I promise I'm not just being a contrarian. I'm not just disagreeing with everyone's like picks and everything. I generally think Beneil Dariush is going to get this one done over Arman Tsarukyan. I think Arman Tsarukyan is really good. He's a very solid fighter. But, Beneil Dariush is really fucking good. He is really good. He looked a lot better, in my opinion, against Gamrot than Arman Tsarukyan did. Arman Tsarukyan definitely should have beat Mateusz Gamrot. Let me just mention that. He definitely should have beat Gamrot. That was a really weird decision. But Dariush's anti-grappling is really fucking solid. He has really good takedown defense. It's like he can't hold this guy down. And one thing about Tsarukyan that I've like that you can really say about him, he does slow down in his fights. Like he really does slow down heavy, especially when you fight him in a high pace. And I think that's what Beneil Dariush is going to do here. I think I can see him mixing in kicks to the body. I think he's the better striker than Tsarukyan. I can see him just pressuring Tsarukyan, stuffing takedown after takedown, and sort of just breaking Tsarukyan a little bit, and then just maybe catching him, getting him out of there. Like he did get, I'm not just basing this because he did get rocked by Joaquim Silva. Actually, was that him in his last fight? I swear he's fought after that, didn't he? Oh, no. The Demir fight was before that. So, yeah, I'm not just basing this on Tsarukyan getting rocked by Joaquim Silva, but I could see Beneil Dariush rocking him after like stuffing takedown after takedown. I can see a gassed out Tsarukyan just sort of getting teed off on, and maybe Beneil Dariush gets him out of there with like a Drakkar close type finish, except maybe not getting rocked. Like the one thing about Tsarukyan is I've never thought he had a great chin. He did get KO'd on the regional scene. He did avenge that loss. But nothing I've seen has shown me that Tsarukyan does have a great chin. Like he got KO'd in 30 seconds by Alexander Belikin. Like this guy just went out there and starched him. He did eventually get that loss. He avenged that loss, but his chin, I don't think his chin's that great. Like I think he's a good fighter, but I think his chin and his cardio, his like natural attributes just aren't that good. Like I think his cardio, like I'm not saying he's fucking Makwan Amirkhani out there with his cardio, but we've seen him slow down quite a lot, and I can sort of see that being a similar situation here, where he just really badly gasses out, and then maybe Beneil Dariush just sort of tees off on him a bit, gets him out of there on the feet. Yeah, I think this is a really solid matchup for Beneil Dariush. I know we haven't seen Dariush go 5 rounds, but I do think he probably has the better cardio here. He does fight at a high pace in a lot of his fights, and also his mental toughness is just crazy. So I'm going to go with Beneil Dariush. I know he is coming off a KO loss to Charles Oliveira, but that's fucking Charles Oliveira. Like, he's a much better, more powerful guy than Tsarukyan, in my opinion. So, yeah, I really like this fight for Beneil Dariush, but I guess we'll see what happens. We'll see how this thing plays out, as Dana White would say. But yeah, I think Beneil Dariush gets this one done. So, and it'll be interesting to see what's next. Like, what the fuck does Tsarukyan even do with a loss here? I guess you could do Tsarukyan versus the winner of like fucking Jarlin Turner versus Bobby Green. Oh, actually no, Bobby Green shat on Tsarukyan calling him boring the other day, didn't he? I don't know. We'll see what happens, how this plays out, but I am going to go with Beneil Dariush by 3rd round TKO. I know, crazy pick, but we'll see what happens. Could also see a decision. Tsarukyan is very tough, even if he's gassed out. I could see him just like surviving, holding Beneil Dariush against the fence, but obviously losing the rounds to damage. But yeah, I'm going with Beneil Dariush. So thank you for watching. If you made it this far into the video, make sure you give it a like. Let me know your predictions in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So thank you for watching. And if you're not already, make sure you're subscribed. If I didn't say that, I can't even remember. Fucking hell, I must have dementia. And share this video. I wanna hear people shit on my takes if they're bad, or I want to see people agree with my takes if they're good. Or people can come back and shit on my picks after the card if I picked against their favorite. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.